So when you look at this proposal for a two-term limit on the Prime Minister of Malaysia, it really forces a crucial question on you.
It really does.
What's the better way to ensure a country's health? Is it, this kind of structural rigidity to prevent abuse? Or is it flexibility to keep exceptional talent in place?
That's the core tension, isn't it? It's not just about how long someone is in office. It's about systemic risk. I mean, our sources show this whole spectrum. On one side, you have anti-corruption advocates arguing passionately for these limits.
And on the other?
On the other, you have high-ranking political leaders who are arguing for, performance and capability over what they see as an artificial rule.
Okay, so let's start with that first group. The push for integrity and accountability coming from civil society.
Right.
We could look at Cynthia Gabriel. She's the founding director of C4, the Center to Combat Corruption and Cronyism. Their view is that this reform is just essential.
Yes, and her position is that a prolonged tenure almost inevitably leads to a concentration of authority, and that makes the abuse of power far more likely. For advocates like her, this term limit is a concrete, sure step towards good governance.
And it's not a new idea. The sources point out that advocates have been waiting, 8 years for something like this?
8 years, exactly. And that's why Gabriel says the real test is implementation, actual action, not just more political announcements.
But this isn't completely uncharted territory in Malaysia, is it?
Not at all. And that's an important point. The Penang Chief Minister, Chow Kan Yeow, he welcomed the federal proposal. Why? Because Penang already did this.
Oh, right.
They amended their state constitution back in 2018 to cap the chief minister's tenure at 2 terms. So there's a precedent there. It suggests it's a viable path.
Okay, so that's the argument for structural control. But what about the other side? The argument for proven capability. This is where PAS leaders come into the picture.
PAS Deputy President Datuk Seri Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man makes the case that by imposing term limits, a country risks prematurely losing an exceptionally capable leader.
And he gives examples, right?
He does. He points to, situations we're all familiar with, like the feeling in the U.S. that Barack Obama was still highly capable when his time was up, or Widodo Jokowi in Indonesia.
So the argument is you're sacrificing performance just for the sake of the calendar.
Precisely. But the counter-argument he makes goes even deeper.
On integrity.
Yes. Tuan Ibrahim's point is pretty sharp. Integrity isn't bound by time. If someone is intent on abuse, they don't need 8 or 10 years. Corruption can happen in a single term.
That's a powerful point.
It is. And another PAS leader, their election director, Datuk Seri Muhammad Sanusi, MD Demunur, he focuses squarely on performance. He says, look, if a 40-year-old leader is doing a fantastic job, limiting them would be the country's loss. Even 10 terms wouldn't be an issue if they performed.
So for them, the solution isn't structural limits,
It's strengthening core institutional values, things like integrity, accountability, and just letting electoral performance be the ultimate judge.
You can really see that tension reflected historically, can't you? I mean, looking back at Malaysia's 10 prime ministers, the tenures have varied so widely. You even have Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad serving those 2 very long, non-consecutive terms.
Absolutely. The debate really forces a choice on you. Do you prioritize the structural mechanism, the term limit, to minimize that risk of concentrated power? Or do you, rely on a system that rewards individual integrity and performance, even if it means longer tenures?
So here's a final thought to mull over. If corruption can, in fact, happen so effectively in a single term, how much more impactful is strengthening those institutional values, those real accountability mechanisms, versus simply creating a time limit? That's the balance you now have the tools to consider.